parents having influence of where their children go, and having
the right to choose where their child will go if
right.
they get separated from them.
Right, exactly. And I don't have any control over that. That's Department of Health and Human Services. And I'm not sure, how immigration law intersects with, 300 W&I and how all of this would work when it comes to the Department of Health and Human Services. And so it's one of those complex fields where federal law, state law, children's rights, parental rights all intersect. And so I believe that if someone has has a document that says where their child should go in the event that they are incapable or no longer capable of being their parent at that particular time, I think, and as long as the state recognizes that, I think.
Not necessarily.
Well.
Sorry. I'm just want to clarify, not necessarily even deported, but detained. Like when the officer detains someone, at that point, I believe I don't know Medicaid front to back, but I think at detainment, a parent has the choice of where their child will go. So that's at the law enforcement level. That's not even ICE level.
Okay. And it all if someone is detained, okay, and we have arrested them under state law, okay, if they're driving while licensed, let's just say, and we have to arrest them, okay, and they have a child in the vehicle, that we then detain that child. We call up child welfare, and child welfare then takes custody of that child. Then child welfare then places that child with a known parent, guardian. That's social services. Okay, we as law enforcement do not place children. That's not our job, and we shouldn't do that. Okay, because we don't know all the rules behind things. We don't follow up with where children are placed. So if we just randomly say a father, is arrested and then the father chooses to have the child go to his mother, okay, there may be a parental right issue there, where the mother wants the child, needs the child, has rights to the child, but now as law enforcement officer, I've placed that child with the grandmother. So that's why we don't do that. That's why Department of Health and Human Services gets called, and they make the determination, they do the follow-up, they do all the documentation to make sure the child is taken care of, and then goes to the appropriate parent.
One of the great things that Centro del Pueblo as an organization has been doing for the community is educating the immigrant community about the necessity for having powers of attorney, like packets of things in case something happens. It's sad to even have to think about that, but packets of things, phone contact information for relatives, and a power of attorney given to somebody who can establish guardianship. And in most cases, those have been honored. What the cases I was referring to were situations where the children were citizens, the parents not. Parents were deported, tried to arrange for a reunification. Social workers decide it's best interest of a citizen child to remain in the United States, and our policy simply, as a policy statement, says that's not your call. And that's, if the parents choose that, that's fine, and some parents do. But it's just not their call. It's a general policy statement. We don't run afoul of it. The state allows for the separation of children if there's abuse and neglect. We don't get in the way of that. We can't override state law. We wouldn't. If there's evidence of abuse and neglect, obviously any parent, any child needs to be protected from that. But that's, and there are some other situations too. If the kid is a problem, criminal habit, and the parents can't control them, those types of things. And state law would kick in for that. But we're just saying as a general provision, that the parental choices should be honored, and Centro del Pueblo is doing well to educate the immigrant community about how to best prepare for that very sad possibility.
The Medicaid does have these provisions to protect children, to make sure that the families are the most important aspect of our laws and our policies. Because going forward, we don't want to see Jim Crow repeated. Going forward, we don't want to see the segregation completely still happening, where voices are silenced in our community.